撇正面硬刚，再刷 BKB 跳过来切掉回，这回也吃不住这个圣剑的伤害。红毛大吹风吹自己的落地之后，又被女王魔击沉默了。这波圣剑 PA 效果还是比较不错的，但是火猫也买活刷新过来，这一刻 PA 没有 BKB， 有点被对面随便宰的意思了
啊！圣剑掉在地上，这一局应该是结束了。
这个时间点，如果夜眼方不想办法把大招配合起来的话，被动刷钱是越打越难受的。这个位置有机会救救吗？叶春仙吃倒了，打了这个大招，打了4个，萨尔狂大，效果还可以，输出够不够了？反正有一个推波，赛亚飞亚装也很差，靠不跳过来就是弱，赛亚飞亚先死，时间也不是很好，但是关键后续伤害没有了，时间彻底开起来，我们看条件状态掉的也很快，直接直死 ，DB 后面能不能遭得住呢？天再过来继续补助，天也没了，完成了一波3杀，前方现在只剩2兄弟，火毛飞魂上来，美国他只能被迫交大，天再过来引一起找萨尔。怎么办？好难受，盾一交，萨尔要死，一丝血，加盾冲击啊！美杜莎的话中了大骨灰自己没蓝了，魔法护盾也没用了，而且还有这边被动的缴械，美杜莎也倒了。
来，走过来，直接疯狂生长，末永小狼贴上来，凤凰能不能飞走？飞不走，再给复魂。凤凰阵亡之后，小强也走不了，破晓成跳下来有点尴尬。是的，
凤凰是没有选择变蛋，
他刚刚是有机会变的，
有机会，但是他可能觉得时机不好。
看一下这波怎么说啊？
主要这个萨尔他没大呀，他杀就杀了呀。但把 BKB 交了之后，后面这倒影一给加速冲击。
哎，水人被沉默了，那直接被打死了。水人顶到那个 TB 的脸上，这边又是一个才艺吸入了小精灵，哎，我也被打死。
这里
摆大了，
摆大招了。深圳再想现在进可能就有点晚了。
大圣 BKB 开的这么早，
开的很果决，国王跳起来抢到了，国王拿到了不朽之守护。远程小松鼠给到一剑，默克赶紧给复魂，但是女王这个大招还是成功收掉了。看下默克，国王交出第一发绝命再生，狼人在后排切小松鼠，死亡限制，眼睁睁看着他杀掉了自己的小松鼠，吹风之后用残音吸到了召唤物上，但是后续的爆发还是成功打死了狼人。
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to another day of Dota here in the DPC China, hosted by Perfect World Esports, bringing us the wonderful clean feed and enabling all of us to bring you this wonderful Chinese Dota in Division 2. Of course, in case you're wondering, hey, what the hell, what is up with Division 1? Because there were some issues with some of the players still being stuck in Romania after TI. Division 2 is gonna be all happening now. So that's what we're speed running through it here in December, and then in January, Division 1 will do the same thing. So this is why we're here. My name is Dragon Drop, I'm joined by Snare, and we should have an interesting one for you. Neptune Gaming versus CDEC. Both teams that have had the opposite of success so far in this bracket.
Yeah, that is definitely true, right? CDEC, this is their fourth game that they're going to be playing right now. They've copped 3 losses in a row. And that might sound like a terrible record, but Neptune Gaming, it's been even worse. They are currently 0-6. This is their last game. If it's possible for them to win any games, it has to be this one. But everything up until this point has been going very badly against them. 2-0s in pretty much all their matchups. And unlike CDEC, who, you could argue that they've played some of the best teams that are in the lower division right now. Team Magma, As the Aries, YBB. These are not weak teams by any stretch of the imagination. But Neptune Gaming, they've played everybody and they've been ran over by everybody. So this is their last chance to try and eke out anything resembling an advantage. But if they fail here, they'll be guaranteed bottom of the log. Right now, I believe that they are guaranteed for relegation. But, you want to leave with some pride still intact. At least having gotten a win or two, at least a map. Just take a map, guys. That's all we need. So both teams obviously need this matchup. CDEC can obviously use it a lot better than Neptune Gaming, but Neptune Gaming, there might be a little bit of end of the road desperation coming in from them in this one.
There might be indeed. So, but as you said, you want to have some sort of honor point, at least the map, something that can go your way. Just to motivate you to keep going, if nothing else, that's really what it's down to right now. But we'll see. CDC, I've not seen them play just yet, so that might surprise us with something interesting, something fun. So far, we see a lot of Lightning Boys, Disruptor and Razor being picked up in the first 1-2. Disruptor pretty good against Tidehunter as well, because he cannot purge off the Static Storm with Kraken Shell, obviously. Razor also pretty decent against most melee heroes, including Tidehunter if you want to send him into the safe lane. So already CDC's draft off to a decent enough start, I would say. But Neptune Gaming, Grimstroke also on the field. That's a hero that you can combo up with a number of different things.
Yep. A lot of different combos available with this hero. Inkswell has been used a lot these days. It is a bit concerning for me that they, right now, against Disruptor Razor, at the very least, it's like Disruptor with Grimstroke. So both sides have fairly low damage supports, but that does mean that there might not be a lot of help for the Tidehunter in the top side of the map. So I'm hoping that they do get a different hero there maybe to help us Tide out, because like you mentioned, if this is Razor safe lane though, because they could easily do something a little bit different. I've seen CDC run the MKS Razor before. I don't know if this is going to be the plan for this game, but always love to see one of these heroes that you can just pick and decide what to do with it later. With Neptune Gaming, it's fairly apparent where everybody's going and what the game plan supposedly is going to look like. They're looking for this mid-game timing where they can utilize these team fights prowesses, Tidehunter Ravage, Grimstroke. We don't know if there's going to be a Soulbind combo, but they already have a pretty decent Inkswell one. The one thing I'm also wondering right now, for Neptune Gaming, we've often seen that they really excel or they have their best showings in the laning phase and things start to collapse for them right after. So I'm wondering if they're going to try and double down and try to get more early game heroes. Maybe like a Bane emerges to play as the position 5 and they shift this Grimstroke to pos 4. But I also like what TDC is doing. We're trying to make sure that once the mid game does hit, the aspect of the game Neptune Gaming tends to be the weakest, that they're going to get ran at directly in their faces here, Drag and Drop. Clockwork, Razor, Disruptor. This feels like a very high tempo setup to me here coming in from CDEC.
It really is, like Clockwork. As I said, just run at you. That's kind of the name of the game when it comes to this hero. Very annoying to play against. Certainly, if the Grimstroke gets caught by it with Barrier Assault inside the cogs, like there's no running away, and then that turns into a very easy snack indeed. Could be a bit annoying sometimes if you are the one getting caught in that Grimstroke ultimate and the Soulbind. You don't have as much free movement necessarily. But that's very situational at best. So they need to find some sort of solution. They need to ideally find carry heroes that don't really mind too much. They can just sit in there and man fight. Like Ursa would come to mind, perhaps. Queen of Pain, I think she can blink out.
It's very dependent
Yeah.
on like when the tick starts, when you got jumped on. It's one of these weird situations. On the bright side, I suppose Queen of Pain is a hero that doesn't feel too discomforted by the fact that she has to buy BKB at some point. And this is definitely the kind of game where DKB is going to be a necessity. You can blink away from the Razor as well in the event that this is going to be mid-Razor, so you can keep the harass potential up on him while staying out of range, potentially winning the lane. But I've seen these lane matchups also go pretty poorly for the Queen of Pain in the past, and one thing I'm really worried about is the presence of this Disruptor. Already super good against the Tidehunter, but now you're playing Queen of Pain into it. Instant Static Storm, you can get tagged by the Glimpse if you're not very careful, and sometimes the timing to be able to blink away from it is like pixel perfect, kind of difficult to always make use of reliably. But at the very least, you do have the Grimstroke, so we have somebody else to combo the Inkswell with. Still no Soulbind combo, but we get some burst for ourselves too, which they were lacking beforehand. And this is interesting here, Dragon Drop. There's been a couple of games where we both said that like Juggernaut could fit the mold, but it seems like that hero's been, for the most part, largely ignored and forgotten about. But it comes out here.
All right.
You try to play this with. You're going to have Juggernaut with Grimstroke, so run at you with Inkswell. It's going to be pretty great. It's going to help out a lot. So quite interesting that this is the direction that they decide to go here with this hero.
Yeah. Juggernaut is, I always say, it's kind of the white bread of carries. You know, it's just there. It's not particularly great, unless you get a bunch of items, and it seems really good, but it's not particularly bad either, as you said, with the Grimstroke combination. It makes for a very strong lane, but up against the Razor, it's always a bit questionable. You know, if you can get the link going, and then he spins, but then he still has to run away, can't really keep going and spin into Omni Slash or anything, because then that's not going to do anything if he's lacking all that damage. So it's, yeah, he's limited in what he can do in this game, for sure.
Yep. Especially now when he's going to be playing into this Lina as well, so there is potential for him to just get bursted down at any given time where he gets caught in these spells. Definitely I'll have to see whether or not this hero is actually viable for them. At the very least, it is lanes, but I don't know about that afterwards. It also does mean that CDEC can wait until they can just basically decide, pick their poison, where they want the Razor to go. Could easily see them deciding to play this in the off lane. Neptune Gaming disagree, and they are insistent that this is going to be the MKS Razor that we were talking about earlier. Slaughter banned, Darkseer banned, both of which would be pretty great teamfight combos and would be terrifying in the laning phase with Clockwork. I suppose maybe that's the rationale we should also be thinking about with them. Which heroes combo with Clockwork, and then for Neptune Gaming themselves, which heroes can go into the off lane potentially, because there could be a support Tidehunter right now. Them deciding that playing Tide into Razor, Disruptor, and Lina is a bit much, but nope. It's off lane Quap. Or is it off lane Invoker? Dragon Drop. We're getting something gaming.
Support Invoker, question mark? Support Quap? I mean, I've seen 4-position Quap before, I've seen 4-position Invoker before. It's always a bit crazy. But it's not completely outside of the realm of possibility. But then again, the most likely would be perhaps even Tidehunter as a support instead. But either way, it's non-standard.
Yeah.
I do generally like Invoker. There's a lot of options on this hero, depending on what kind of way you want to go. Like, there's not a lot of setup for Sunstrix early on, so you'd imagine that this would be the classic Quaz Vex Invoker, where he just says, alright, you're gonna come at us with the Razor, with the Clockwork, just run in our face, well, I'm just gonna tornado you and EMP you, and then you're kind of in trouble, you know? So I do like that idea, and then you can use that counter initiation to piggyback the Queen of Pain on, and even that if she ends up being in a non-core role, she's still gonna have spells that deal a decent amount of damage, you know, you could say.
One of these hero picks where, in isolation, if I didn't consider how it fits into the rest of the draft, and you just consider like potential lanes of combos, you're like, yeah, this could actually really work. We also have like Alacrity for Juggernaut eventually in the game. If the game stretches long enough, we can get to the Aghanim Scepter. So you have Ravage, Cataclysm, we've seen that be a combination before. And then, like you mentioned, of course, just giving the free reign for team fighting for heroes like Quap, Grimstroke. It's just, it's the balance of this team is so off right now for Neptune Gaming. Let's suppose that there's Queen of Pain, whoever goes off lane here, if it is Quap or the Tidehunter, either one of them is going to be putting the other in a precarious position because all of these heroes need levels to be effective and a lot of experience and farm for Juggernaut too. So resource allocation has not necessarily been one of the strong suits of Neptune Gaming. So I'm kind of surprised that they went in for a pick like this, which is going to require incredible resource allocation, great team fighting, great execution. And now CDEC just goes straight ahead for the Xiaofu LC, making sure that they have the Purge for themselves. You've got some hard lockdown for the Queen of Pain, hard lockdown for the Invoker. And of course, you just have a decent lane into the Juggernaut. You already know it's going to be Juggernaut Grimstroke lane. Cool. Make sure that you pick a hero that going into that lane doesn't necessarily fear instantly dying. You have a great combo partner with it in the Clockwork, so that's another kill lane as well. More frustration, I think, is coming in today here, Drag and Drop for Neptune Gaming, because I think this draft is a little bit too greedy for them, and they're going to get exploited here by CDEC.
CDC's draft is a lot more well-rounded, a lot more standard, and with some very strong core heroes. Like, we've seen a lot of Razor, we've seen a decent amount of Lina. Legion Commander is also one of these heroes where it doesn't work in all games, but this is certainly one where you can get a lot of utility out of it, start a duel on. And Queen of Pain, who's been picked up by Aya, so that seems to be the off lane after all. Unknown, we don't know what's going on with Fonte. He disappeared during the last series, so he's not carrying. Unknown on Juggernaut.
Living up to his name,
yeah,
you know, the unknown player.
Unknown to us for now. But yeah, we'll see what they can do. Like, it's... I don't know. I don't want to say it, but Neptune Gaming's draft kind of seems like a draft that would work in pubs. You know?
Yeah.
Games go a little bit later. Games aren't as coordinated, as fast all the time. So
honestly, even in a PUBG situation for Neptune Gaming, they would definitely have a hard time structuring how they're going to approach the game, structuring the lanes in particular. But we'll see, you know? We've been, maybe this entire time, Neptune Gaming, their thought processes, we've tried to play the standard style of Dota, we've done things, not necessarily in the same way as everybody else, but we followed meta trends. Hasn't really gotten us anywhere, so if we are going to go out, at least let's try something different, or let's go out with a bang. Everybody ask for your favorite heroes. So, off-lane Quap, that's going to be really entertaining. And there are some interesting things about this, right? Given that the lane is going to be safe lane Razor, the things we were talking about with Razor Quap matchup, presuming it was going to be mid, somewhat apply to the offlane, but it's actually a little bit better for the Quap. The range potential on the flat terrain is a bit easier to navigate against a hero like Razor, who eventually will be able to get you with higher movement speed, but at the beginning, not really a factor, and you have the blink for mobility advantage. And I think they also realize this from CDEC. They're trying to make sure that they match up the Razor into the Juggernaut lane up in the top.
yeah, just judging by their pre-rune positioning, that's exactly what they want to do. MKS already not even interested in runes, just interested in getting that block out as early as possible. So yeah, they're gonna have that matchup. Then we're gonna see if they want to engage into this game of musical lanes where you just start walking across the map, where you try and anticipate those kind of lanes. But the moment someone TPs, the other one just TPs as well. And obviously the TP is on cooldown, so you end up losing that trade. So it's I've seen games where that just goes on for like 5 minutes until they finally decide, alright, laning phase is over anyway now.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
There was this classic Eternal Envy game I remember where they were like, for 7 whole minutes, he refused to just sit in the lane.
Yeah.
He's like, I will not play this matchup. I will run around. But now they've seen each other top. Let's see what they decide to do on Neptune Gaming, because no Juggernaut wants to be in this position. And in fact, they're going to try a run down Guogo. Poor Grimstroke might end up being first blood. Ah, he's fine. He's fine.
Well, it's a salve
He's
down.
fine.
All they
Yep,
understand
that's the
is-
only salve they had. They had to bring in another one.
Normally, if you're forced to use a salve on yourself as a support, it's kind of annoying. Not for yourself, but for the carry, because you can't rely on that. In this case, it's a Juggernaut though, so he can always get that 30 points in healing wards and get that extra regen that way.
Yep. That is one of the great things about that hero, the sustained potential that you have. And the sustained potential on both sides of the map, because they also have the Xiaofu LC down here in this bottom lane, eventually going to be grabbing these points into your moment of courage. This is really annoying for Tidehunter as well, especially because you're not playing this core Tidehunter, you're playing this as support. Eventually, only 1 point in Anchor Smash will not be enough, even though you don't even have it as of yet. Xiaofu will out right click you, will out harass you, will out sustain this lane itself, and AAE on Queen of Pain, not heroes that you think about when you think about forcing out aggression in the off lane. And they might find the first blood here.
no.
No, they got top. Oh my gosh, they get on both sides of the map at the same time. I'd be so upset right now if I'm bottom, but you know, props to them on top. Actually did it first. Oh, that's hilarious though.
I'm upset because I didn't catch first blood because of that, because I was looking at him dying bottom.
Oh,
Can't really blame me
yes,
for this
right.
one though, because yeah, that was 2 seconds off.
Oh,
Unfortunate.
but this is terrible news though, Dragon Drop. That's 2 deaths on 2 sides of the map. And you already know that you have a very strong matchup middle. Look at how hard Echo is beating Shen right now in this Lina versus Invoker matchup.
Yeah, it's just not great. Twice lost, it's more or less. So, are they winning all 3 lanes right now? I mean, the correct is yes, definitely. Extra kill
Yep.
up top. I mean, MKS and Unknown, this matchup between them is more even. You just look at the carries and not the supports. So.
If they had a few more levels available up on the top lane, they might actually be able to get some kills going, but it's kind of difficult given their early starts. And look at bottom. Like, how are you supposed to play this game? Honestly, normally just as disruptor, you don't feel super confident about being able to out harass offlaners, but when it's a hero as squishy as a Queen of Pain, and Gogo might die top here, but Inkswell should protect him. But yet again, they're being forced back. They're definitely going to have to use this last salve, and there we go. It's gone. Now you're in this awkward position. Do we ferry in more regen, or do we hope we get to level 3 super soon on Unknown so he can give us the healing ward in lane? But now we're going to have the 1-1-1, and he definitely won't have enough damage to threaten anymore, which is ideally what you want to be able to do if you have a Grimstroke and Jug in the same lane.
Yep. You want to be able to use this Inkswell and spin combo. Spin level 2 is where the damage really starts mounting up. But if you then get drained, MKS might still be able to fight you and just kite you around afterwards. So it makes it a bit awkward. You can make this kind of play on the Clockwork especially, because his protection, like his battery assault, of course Juggernaut doesn't really care about that if he spins, but he's been positioning quite well to a point where he's not really vulnerable to this kind of movement. So
Just been playing really, really well, doing the things that they need to do, but Dragon Drop, I'm really worried about Shen. He's gonna be fine from this.
He stole 4 CS from the small camp with the tornado, so
Hey,
that's quite a heist. As
small victories.
Yeah, another victory down here. There's just so
Alright.
much free chip damage that they do, right? Between the overwhelming odds, the Thunderstrike spam. There's just no way to outregen that.
Tidehunter already hates dealing with Thunderstrike as an offlaner, but now dealing with it as a support, definitely not a great time. Queen of Pain is not very tanky in this situation. And I'm starting to wonder, right, for Xiaofu, after you finish the Armlet, is the build-up going to be straight Blink in this game? Or can they afford to stop over for something else? And I don't want to lose Quap again.
There's not a lot of extra mana on either one of these. There's a Soul Ring though, but no cooldown or overwhelming odds. Does purge off. Ooh, yeah. Better leave in time. I think with the stick, he would have had enough for overwhelming odds on the creep wave, and it would have been a dead Quap, but get some blink out in time before the cooldown returns. So just have to settle for leaving the lane, leaving the LC to free farm, which is, I don't know, they've lost the bottom lane for sure. They've lost mid, all things considered.
I mean, it's been okay up on top. You know, like you were mentioning earlier, the Unknown versus Razor matchup. I think he's actually done a fairly good job, like you were saying, with his positioning as well. Keep away from the drain maximally. He's still getting his own farm. So it's not all doom and gloom for Unknown. He's still going to be in a position to be able to participate in this game. We'll see what the itemization decision is going to be Obviously, there's no chance that you go for a Battle Fury. You need to be a lot more active than that. But we'll see if the decision's going to be Diffusal, SHENZHEN Y, Manta style. What direction Unknown is thinking this game is going to be going, or maybe even just starting with Maelstrom and seeing from there. And he needs to be able to hold this top lane down. The one nice thing about having the Razor here is that it's a lot easier if you do want to make the first early rotations with Queen of Pain and or with Invoker to come to the priority target. If you have the magical burst, you can potentially kill him, and then you still protect this top tower, give Jug more space on the map to farm up, and not have to worry about this terrifying LC. The Xiaofu is getting really, really strong, and it's very scary.
Yeah. Talking about the other build, it's gonna be the Armlet, and yeah, I would be very surprised if you don't go for Blink Dagger off of a lane like this. You know, just keep the momentum rolling, try and get the Blink initiation. There's a bunch of free kills that you can get with that, not just on supports, but also the cores. You know, if you can get the Blink duel out on the Queen of Pain or on the White Chen and mid, it's up top actually. Razor in a bit of trouble to finally get that combo out between the three of them. Guogo though, double LSA inside the cogs. Echo counters that rotation. 1-for-1 trade so far. White Chen's being healed up currently by the healing ward. And Clockwork, run!
He's fine. It's fine. Survived with like 90 HP, but he's fine. It's okay.
The only health point that you really need is the last one. So. Am I wrong? Ignis, he might give that one up though. Glimpse back.
I tell that to my carry players. If I'm supporting them in lane and they almost die, I'm like, hey man, you're still alive, right? You got that last HP point. So honestly, that's not so bad for Neptune Gaming. Great rotation to the top lane, the first one of the game for Shen. And we were just talking about it, that this is one advantage of playing into this aggressive Razor, that it's a bigger target gets drawn on his back. And they do make that kill happen, buy a lot of time for this Juggernaut. And look how he's leapfrogged this Razor now in net worth. Things are looking really positive for Unknown at this point in time. And they're going top again with the smoke. Weekly wants to help out. They want to try kill MKS one more time.
Be nice indeed, but Clockwork's gonna run into them and figure out what's going on, and will even be able to walk away. So MKS is only leaving now. There's some more support coming in. Ignis, level 4, Disruptor almost 5, so nowhere near that Static Storm just yet.
They're just going to park these heroes here. They've got vision as well behind the tier 1 tower. This is really great when Disruptor's nearby with Glimpse. Oh, and they get a D-ward. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Oh.
It was about to expire too, so good catch on that.
Alright, they're going to try actually make a play here. They're bringing in Shen once more, so they really want to go in for this aggression. They get the tornado out. Inkstall combo. Does it land? Yes, it does. They glimpse back Shen, but it's a little bit too late. He's already laid down the EMP as well. So they're going to be able to secure that kill. And Dragon Drop, I think that's actually beneficial. You get a kill and you get a free TP back to lane. Shut out Disruptor.
And they get that D-ward of themselves. They snipe on the healing ward. But yeah, that was certainly pretty damn good. Echo now. A little bit late to the party. But don't know how much they can do here. So they're spending a lot of time up top here inside of CDEC, but they've not really been able to get anything done. In fact, they lost the Razor twice, which is just stifling his momentum quite a bit. And as you said, the Juggernaut's certainly very happy about this. Now second in net worth, only following Zhao Fu, who's of course been having a whale of time down bottom, just completely uncontested for the last couple of minutes.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's only been this off-lane co-op to be able to contest in that lane. I still can't believe I'm saying those words. Off-lane Queen of Pain, man. What do you even build with this off-lane build? Like, it feels like AEA is just as confused about this. I've clicked on him a few times. Earlier on, he had Soldier queued up. Then he's like, that's not really going to work out. Then you try to queue Yules, and he's like, no. I can't go Orchid either in this situation. I need something else. So let me try to tank up with SHENZHEN Kaya. And it looks like that's going to be him settling on this kind of build. Also has some range up, so they want
onto White Chen here. Echoes there. LSA doesn't actually connect, I believe, but still plenty of magic burst. Zhao Fu also joins in halfway towards the Blink Dagger. Just like that, 4 people are in mid. They get a good kill, and they're also looking for this tier 1 tower, apparently.
Okay.
Just level 6 now.
Would hate to use Ravage in this situation, though. Wants to save it desperately for a fight. You could get Glimpse
It's
back,
a duel.
and he might get killed into a duel. Yep, sadly, no option to even use that defensively. They do bring in the Queen of Pain now, but I don't think she's going to be able to defend this tower. Maybe go for a deny. Nope, not going to happen. They might look for an Inkswell combo with the Invoker also being nearby, but they wisely decided to just let this one go. They've already lost 2 heroes for the tower. The tower goes down with barely a fight. They gave away dual damage while they were at it. It is a pretty big reversal of fortunes given how well these last like minute and a half has been going for Neptune Gaming. But you know, at the very least, they're not losing things elsewhere on the map. They still have the tier 1 top. Invoker still comes back into this lane, not fully threatened. It can still probably finish the hand of Midas before he has to leave this lane in its entirety. Still, though, CDEC are starting to eke more and more ahead in net worth, especially with Xiaofu being completely uncontested. And first smoke coming in right now. Before they just ran wantonly through this mid lane, but now they're looking for aggression, using the smoke and potentially using the hook shot of this clockwork.
Well, the first one worked out pretty well. The second one onto creeps though, so
Feels bad.
unknown. They're still hanging around
Dude,
here though, and the duel comes out. After all, Echo's there with all the bursts they need. Oh no,
God.
that's the mind
Yeah.
games.
You gotta tip him for that one. You gotta tip him.
Absolutely, it's just like, hey,
You
yeah.
gotta tip him.
Oh, they missed the hook shot. There's no way they're sticking around, and then they just walk
Oh
up with
my
the duel
God.
instead.
All of this for an Ogre Frost Mage. It wasn't worth it, Unknown. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. Oof, that is just pain and suffering. Now you lose the jug. You're gonna lose the tower anyway, but at the very least, you're gonna at least have time that you can dip deeper into the jungle. And I was saying earlier that there's no way you go Battle Fury in this situation. Unknown proves me wrong. Queued up the Battle Fury, and that makes that death even worse. It's one thing to die early on when you're going for this more aggressive, earlier timing, but if you're planning to only peak a lot later into the game, then it's very problematic to end up losing your life at times like this when you know for a fact that CDEC are going to keep running at you. Xiaofu has the blink now, and here we go. They're smoked immediately again. And why would you ever stop this train? As soon as hookshot's online, as soon as blink duel is online, you always want to go. In fact, the only impediment to them moving across the map is going to be running out of smokes at this point and how quickly they're going in.
Smoke will break the duel straight up on a Juggernaut. They don't quite have the same burst this time, but they do have the Static Storm to follow up. So that's a... Oh, 2 heroes caught inside the cogs here. Echoes right there. Cooked burst on Gorgo perhaps. A couple more right clicks will be needed. Xiaofu.
Ravage.
Not going to be doing it. Ravaged as Xiaofu actually being bursted down between the 3 of them. Takes them a while though. IA blink back out. The ultimate on Titan, not enough to kill either one of them. As, oh god, another salve. He dug all of those out with the shovel, and it's actually Ignis who was left in the front lines.
What?
That was a comedy of errors here, honestly.
Oh, wow.
They did not do the math on that.
No, they did not. They got a little bit too greedy at the beginning of the fight. They tried to split their attention, thinking that Xiaofu, with the help of this young disruptor from Ignis, should be more than enough to kill the Juggernaut quickly. And they do get the kill on him, but it wastes the Static Storm, so they don't have that available for either the Tide, the Queen of Pain, or Invoker. And on the back of the fight, like you mentioned, the 2 hero cog set things up perfectly for them. Then the Sonic Wave, and also they got way too greedy with the chase afterwards. Xiaofu still deciding to run into the Ravage. I really can't believe they got that kill, not just onto this LC, but the follow-up onto both supports means that the fight, although they lost the Juggernaut, they actually end up breaking positively with AEAE now suddenly number 2 in net worth on the whole map. Offlane Queen of Pain is working. Genius pick, fam. I never doubted you for a second.
I wouldn't go that far, but sure. Alright. We'll see. I mean, worth pointing out that MKS was not part of that fight. He's just been clicking away at creeps on the other side of the map. He's got himself a Perseverance right now. Not sure what he wants to do with that. Maybe nothing just yet. There's a BKB queued up.
Perseverance.
Yeah.
I doubt it's Lotus Orb. Like, what else? Nothing that's super big that you want to dispel. Not doubt it's Linken's. Value Perseverance. We're seeing a lot of new stuff in this game here, Dragon Drop. Offlane Co-op, Value Perseverance on ostensibly carry Razor.
I mean, yeah, it's eventually going to turn into a refresher, right? Because Razor Refresher just melts people, but and in the meantime, you're going to have a bunch of regions to work with. I mean, the amount of regions is actually quite nice, just to be able to spam your plasma fields and whatnot to farm creeps. I can definitely see that.
Doesn't mean that you're not very effective until you get BKB though.
That's
so
true, yeah.
he's gonna be super reliant on. That's probably why he decided to stay out of that fight. He's like, what am I gonna contribute if I just show up and die?
Exactly.
Rather let me get this item. That way I can just literally just show up in the fight, pop BKB, and chase down any of our targets, make it a lot easier for us to kill them. Oh, mid lane, they found Shen. Shen gonna get dueled, gonna get hookshotted, gonna get Laguna bladed. Okay. I don't think they were happy about how the last fight panned out, and looks like they blamed the Invoker for that one. They dropped everything on his head.
Yeah. It's a third duel victory. Got his level 12 from that though, so no extra damage. Just the plus 10 instead of plus 20, but you can keep the train rolling from here. It's
Battlefield is up now.
okay. Not the quickest timing we've ever seen, but at least you got it now.
Oh, that's actually kind of interesting to me. The fact that although they do have this almost constant jump, and we saw them trying to utilize it, it feels like they've been a bit timid since that last engagement, and they haven't necessarily been running out with the same confidence on the map. And that's surprisingly enough, giving Neptune Gaming the time to make use of this greed. Look at Unknown farming this giant stack. Oof, that's juicy, juicy, juicy. That's a lot of gold you're gonna pick up on this one.
It's all neutral items as well. I mean, it's always the benefit if you get the stack up, wait until 17 minutes, especially the Ancients, because they have a higher drop rate on the neutrals. Then hitting that the moment the battlefield lands, it's also not too bad as Hoi Hoi could be in trouble, but kind of letting him go there. Didn't notice his presence in time, I don't think. But I might still be able to find him here. Xiaofu, yeah, just straight up goes in by himself. Bit of follow-up there from MKS, and just enough to secure that dual win. Plus 50 now in total. Not bad at all.
Perfect time to do it as well. He was 100 gold short of being able to pick up the Blink Dagger on this side. So killing him now, getting the tower. You get the outpost right before the 20-minute mark. You can still potentially dip back into the Roshan pit if you want to. And this actually feels pretty good for them. We're unfortunate to be in that situation, but you're also happy that it's not one of your other heroes that's getting ganked and killed. And he'll still be able to get this blink. And it also means that it's time where Unknown as well as Shen were given perfect vision of where their most dreaded opponents are, in particular the LC and this Razor. But these heroes are now going to go into the pit, looking for the first Aegis of the game, but Hui Hui's back. And he might not have the Blink Dagger yet, but he's about to finish it off this wave, and they're not that fast with this Roshan. They might still be able to connect to it in time, but it doesn't look like they want to do it, Neptune Gaming. So they're going to give this one up, allow this to be an Aegis for CDEC. I think it's going to be a farming Aegis mostly. Not that much real estate on the map that they can grab right now, but Shen might be in danger. Bottom gets hookshotted. What? Big plays from the Clockwork, shows up with Dust as well. Echo will be there with the LSA, definite kill onto the Invoker. And maybe got a little bit too greedy, stuck around too long down bottom, gets punished for it here.
Another fight rages on though, so Ravage catches a couple of even inside the Static Storm, so they do burst down two heroes.
That
was a bit weird here. They tried to go for a dual play, I believe. By themselves.
Dragon Drop. Is that another double kill for the Screen of Pain? She might die here, but nope, blink away. That just thought came too late.
Yeah,
Dude, she's 4-0 and 2. She's top net worth. What's happening?
Alright, I think now we can say offline co-op is working. At least for them in this particular game. Yeah, I mean, making good use of that burst damage, I guess. And in this particular situation, it also looked like they were not hoping for everyone being there. But that's kind of a coin toss at times, you know? You're just going for a play, oh yeah, just get this quick pick off, and everyone's there. It's like, oh yeah, well, we didn't see them, so we could have figured that they're sticking together at this point. Because they know that we're not with the Invoker, right? Else it would have counter-initiated there, right? Who else would they have been?
But they're coming in again. They still have this Aegis available. Xiaofu. Duel Online has Aghanim Shard too, so they want some targets. They want some more damage to go the way of this hero. And they can get it really quickly now, as they also have MKS with full BKB up, and they're going to try to utilize it. They just run forward onto Gogo. Inkswell will stall this out for a second, but doesn't even pop. That's how quickly they get this kill. MKS did have to commit Eye of the Storm on this one, and there's no Aghanim Scepter, so very little ways to put damage onto the building. They'll have to content themselves with just using some right clicks, unless they can get this chase onto Hui Hui as well. But it is a TIE Hunter with Kraken Shell, with the Ravage. They can actually commit the Static Storm back onto him. They haven't gotten the kill yet, but it shouldn't take too much longer. And now they know that they're not afraid of the Tide, with the beef there in front of them. Should be able to take the tower soon thereafter. But Neptune Gaming, looking like they're prepared to let them have it. They don't want to get picked off one by one by one by one by one. Besides, they have more important things to take care of here. Dragon Drop got some farm to pick up. Shen's in the jungle, trying to get closer to this Aghanim Scepter. They want the Cataclysm. They want that burst damage going.
Some creeps to kill. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Shen trying to do his best. If you can't fight them directly, you can just fight them indirectly. Just use your Exort build to push out the bottom lane. Even getting the tier 2 for, I mean, not for free, considering that he ended up dying earlier, doing that same kind of play, but still pretty damn good. Getting him towards that Aghanim Scepter, only running gold away. Meanwhile, the rest of his team is smoked up. He might need to join up with them. Okay, never mind. Blink Ravage up on the high ground into the Static Storm. Just nuked down. Legion Commander blinked in to try and help Zhao Fu. In a lot of trouble. Still goes for a duel and still wins it here. As AR forced to blink out. Cannot land fight, but the glimpse right back into it. Couple of right clicks into the LSA. Perfectly timed. They lose the Razor, but there's a hook shot in the back. They're not even done yet. Clockwork once more, and Echo will help them out and oblige. EP not doing a ton, seeing how he's a Clockwork. He does not have a ton of mana to work with, but still with the meatball, he requires help of Zhao Fu to survive. They're all kind of low. Echo still holding on to the Angels, of course, so he doesn't mind all that much. And what looked like a great initiation here, the quick pickoff on Razor before it could do anything, it still turned into a disaster for NG.
Oh, God. It was a disaster in the worst possible way, Dragon Drop. It was a disaster with a plan. I was wondering why is Chen TPing all the way back home instead of joining his team, potentially TPing in the trees behind the tier 2. He went to pick up the Aghanim Scepter, and you can see the plan, right? We had Inkswell, jumps in, big Ravage, the stun out onto Razor. Xiaofu also comes in to help from the side of CDC, and that's supposed to be when Shen throws in the Cataclysm for that bonus burst damage to just kill everybody, but just shy on being able to do so, and the idea was there, but the execution just wasn't. And Xiaofu manages to get off the duel, and those procs of Moment of Courage, the amount of regen, kind of insane on this Legion Commander. She stays alive with the very last hit, seeming like it was gonna kill her. And then the worst disaster struck when AEAE, not yet finished with this Lincoln Sphere, unfortunately gets glimpsed back into the waiting arms of Xiaofu. Then it's just losing heroes one by one by one, and they're not done yet. They want to try and get Gogo, who is alive for now, but Shen might not be so lucky. Glimpsed into Static Storm, into duel. They still get Gogo anyway. CDEC punishing greed by being greedy with hero kills as they get another 2 heroes, and they're slowly but surely taking over all of the map.
And dual victory as well with that, so plus 90. I mean, it's kind of crazy in the last fight as well. Zhao Fu, he was there at like 20% HP. He was like, yeah, I can still duel here. It's fine. Like, against 3 heroes, you know? That was a situation where it was not clear at all, at least not at a glimpse from us spectators, that they would be fine there, but he still had confidence.
Yep.
Now they're pushing down bottom. DD rune going on Lina, so you'll be able to clean through this tower very, very quickly. And NG, they gotta feel the heat now. They gotta feel the threat. There's a Blink Ravage available. No Aegis anymore. They're all smoked up, but CDC, they smell something. They know what's going on. See Chen, smoke will break on more heroes. BKB comes out onto Echo, does not care about the Ravage at all. Cataclysm does a bit of damage, but nothing too crazy. Hui got in a very awkward position here. Meanwhile, from front though, Clockwork dead first. The Omni Slash over on MKS. Isolated, taken over to Zhao Fu, but Razor is still dead. Zhao Fu right click down, cannot arm the target his way out. Hui finally dies, but he's the only one so far. Echo slowed down, try to TP out, and will be successful. Nothing there to cancel it.
Ignis not so lucky though.
Yeah. Or is he?
Oh,
no, no, he's not. Oh man, this is the exact opposite. This looked like a decent one with the BKB.
So Echo sort of debates his team there in that situation. So he pops BKB on this high ground, positioning himself as if he's ready and waiting to be able to go in. You know, as soon as the team is looking for the further jump, he's gonna come get the turnaround, LSA, burst down one target. But they sort of forget that right now, unless they both pop BKB, the Razor and the Lina, only one of them can be immortal in that time period. And Razor doesn't get off BKB before the Ravage comes out. Ravage hits, Cataclysm comes out, and initially it doesn't seem like that much damage, right? Razor's like, oh, sweet. I still have enough time to pop BKB and run into the fight, but at that point, then you realize that, wait a second, this Juggernaut hasn't used his spells just yet. The Queen of Pain hasn't used their spells just yet, so they still have this BKB piercing damage to come out, and Razor jumps into the fight thinking that he can take that fight. Nope, nope, nope. Not the case at all. Gets routed immediately. Xiaofu realizes can't really jump in either because Xiaofu doesn't have a BKB, so it took so much damage from the Ravage Cataclysm combo that there wasn't really a tenable dual target afterwards. And they all sort of streamed in after Echo, and Echo was the first one to jump into the fight, feeling perfectly safe at that point. Having the Reaver, having BKB, he definitely was immortal, but the rest of his team could not follow that same pace, and they end up finding themselves losing their lives. And the big thing is, all they got in exchange was Hui Hui on the Tidehunter. Everybody else survived, everybody else got kills. So the full Linkins was already complete for AEAE beforehand, but got enough gold from that fight to now get an Aghanim shard. Juggernaut got closer towards having Basher. So even those plays we just saw of being able to TP out in front of his face soon won't be effective anymore. And with this Shadow Blade, eventually we'll get to the Silver Edge, which will 100% complicate life for both Razor and LC, especially because Xiaofu has been so reliant on this moment of courage. Without it in these fights, suddenly Xiaofu is getting low with no possible way of being able to beef back up because, you know, you're the offlaner. Nobody else but you would have built utils to help you out in the fights. I don't know if about you, but it feels like this is starting to turn slowly but surely. And this Juggernaut Battle Fury, the longer these kind of frantic fights go on, the longer or the more easy it is for this item to start paying off.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's getting to a point where it really matters who gets the initiation. Echo, you better be quick with the BKB right here as... I'm not jumping this yet. Okay, there's a counter jump actually. Hookshot over one Guaguo. That's gonna be a free kill. And the disengage, I think that's the right choice for NG. Like, seen it time and time again if from both sides, if they get the good initiation out. And that doesn't mean just the jump, but also the jump on the right hero and then being ready for the counter initiation. If they can start the team fight in the right way, then they're gonna end up winning it. Just depends on which team is doing it. As Clockwork still alive, got some help there. As okay, yeah, it's actually going in. Not sure about this one either way. Enough. Okay, Lincoln's popped almost a duel there. That would have been devastating, but yeah, all of this just to buy enough time for the Aegis to be finished off by Echo. So he's got that. Aegis of the Immortal shard. Still in his backpack. We'll see where he wants to give that over to.
The entire time this was happening, though, YSHEN was busy pushing out this bottom lane, and the Tier 3 tower is now sitting at a third of its HP. They actually might kill Echo. Echo's in a dangerous position here. This is not an easy place to be, but I'm glad they actually retreat. And they're starting to show a lot more discipline than we've seen, not just in these games, but throughout the entire lower division of DPC and Neptune Gaming. Not taking these bad fights. This is 2 back-to-back occasions where in prior times I was expecting them to just jump in, but they get back, don't take unnecessary risks. They know that Echo's the one sitting with this Aegis. They pushed out this bottom wave. And, you know, we could argue that YSHEN should have been closer with this team, but they don't decide to take fights that they don't feel that they have the good jump. Like you mentioned, as soon as they see Guoguo dying, they're like, well, they have the positioning, let them have it. Rather that than end up losing a fight. And a fight might come anyway, though, as they are going to be very close to where Guoguo is. Close to all of each other. It's ships in the night right now between these two teams.
The high ground, but the Cataclysm with the Ravage on a couple of people, they're just gone. Xiaofu gets to live, and Echo, he's crazy. He's all alone. Does have the Aegis, but does he have the damage? The healing water's there. He needs to get rid of it. Well, he didn't. So Unknown survives, so that's a bit awkward. Meanwhile, in the back, though, Static Storm connected in down to Aya. And Echo's there for the follow-up. LSA connects, a couple of right clicks here and there. Aya is still alive, glimpse back into the front. Echo still fighting, though, as they need a bit of extra damage out to Aya. And they didn't have it. Echo thought he didn't need to click him. What is happening?
Oh my god.
What?
CDEC is starting to fall apart. That's what's happening, Dragon Drop. They had to buy back on 3 heroes, in fact, for that fight to feel like they could have any sort of purchase inside it. Oh, just 2, sorry. The Razor and the Disruptor both come back. The Burst immediately, Hui with the Ravage. And here, look at this Queen of Pain. Offlane Quap is actually working. Echo thought he had the kill, survives,
Yeah.
she blinks away. And look at all this distraction, right? Sure, like the Queen of Pain is very close to dying, but through this, Echo thinks he doesn't have to right-click in that direction. Ends up losing Aegis. They don't kill this Queen of Pain. And both these supports are so hyper-focused on dealing with this Queen of Pain that they're not actually looking onto the high ground to try and protect this Lina. And Echo might find a kill here on bottom. Does have enough damage to do it. Does he? Does he? Does he? Doesn't look like it.
Would need some extra vision. They have the gem on the Disruptor, but it's a little bit too late and actually catch the way out.
Oh my god.
Clockwork.
What a fight for Neptune Gaming. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Pain,
they
man.
need to shore up their or like their game plan, the instincts, or what have you. I mean, I don't know what's coming together or
Kloppo?
not. As he's going in, Guoguo supposedly good kill. MKS being pushed back. Juggernaut fighting, and that's a good LSA. Good connection there, bringing down the Juggernaut onto the next one.
no.
Guoguo this time he's a free kill. Almost forced
Oh,
to get
no.
away, and
Oh no, that's a Juggernaut dead without duel while they're coming for the high ground and dead without buyback. Oh no, this could be a disaster. Hui's undoubtedly gonna die here as well. Does have, oh, it does get the blink away, but this is really sad because without having the Juggernaut active, there's a lot of damage being left off the field. At the same time though, we have seen the power of Blink Ravage into Cataclysm, Sonic Wave, so CDEC shouldn't feel too safe just because they don't have their position 1 hero available right now.
there it is. There's a Ravage, there's a Cataclysm onto absolutely everybody. Echo's still alive, couple of right clicks at KS, and Zhao Fu super low, but still want to stick around. Never mind. They could have dueled there actually with a big hit there from the Silver Edge from Lina. Goddamn Echo, man, he's playing like he has an Aegis, but he doesn't. Might get
He doesn't, he
punished
lost it, he lost
here. Taking a lot of damage. He's gonna have another Satanic in a couple of seconds. Cannot get in range for the stun. And this turn on, couple of right clicks here and there, but Tornado, Meatball, counter initiation, pops the BKB, and cannot TP out though because of that link. Oh no, Duel comes out though. Okay, watch it. He's just disappeared. The Sonic Wave not really doing too much. His damage output a little bit limited here at this stage. Forward though, with the blink, with the stun, and that's a gem on the deck. They want to pick it up?
Game is
Surely someone needs to
crazy.
pick. There we go. I don't understand this.
Oh my gosh.
I really don't.
I thought that Neptune Gaming were insane for chasing out as far as they did. I thought it was good enough to just keep the racks alive, but they're like clearly not. Who want to go for more? They're like, Echo doesn't have Aegis anymore, so time to pursue him till the ends of the freaking earth. And they keep just chasing down this lane. They kept that fight going for so long, Dragon Drop, that BKB cooled down from Echo from the 7 to the 6 second duration. Comes back in, and Neptune Gaming, despite not having the Juggernaut, they did that without the hard carry. They just kept running at them. AE gets the kill, and they might find Echo here. Doesn't have BKB for 10 seconds. Be careful, my friend. It's a very careful positioning, but Neptune is so far ahead, so far forward. Just retreat, please. Fight back.
What the hell? Tidy just disappears. Able to finish up the Disruptor, but now he's dead too. The Static Storm going.
my
Still
God.
so
What is
much
happening?
damage. Now no spin, no Omni, no nothing. What is Juggernaut? What? How did they die so fast?
So
Check that on
this is
replay,
what happens
actually.
when you. All right, so here we go. Right, so this is what ends up happening when you willingly jump into a fight where Echo. Look where this Lina is, right? Remember, Lina has Silver Edge, Satanic, a ton of right-click damage, and is allowed to just right-click Hui. So they get the first break, and then AE jumps into an Eye of the Storm with Refresher. So that's no mana or no armor left at all. Juggernaut as well gets pushed back by Power Cogs on the retreats and also instantly loses all of his armor. And these heroes' right-clicks are insanely hard. So when you lose all your armor that quickly, You just end up dying in the blink of an eye, and now they can come up to the high ground, take the racks.
His Omni Slash got Lotus Orbed. Just
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, just bounce back. Yeah. It bounced back into nothing. So it's like, yay! That's a waste of a spell.
Okay, there's a Ravage. There's a Cataclysm here. Lina. Okay, did not get to right click in time. By the Satanic, so that's a good kill. A ton of money actually, yeah. Made that buyback money back immediately.
That's a lot of money. But the fact is, it's at this point of the game, I think it's once you started losing racks, you don't care that much about the buyback cost. It's about this buyback cooldown, and now 7.5 minutes. And you ask yourself, right? Because when they made that push onto the tier 2, they were playing with 4 heroes. The Invoker wasn't alive at the time, and they still decided to force that fight. And now they're doing it again. Here they are. They've already popped Cataclysm. You know, Ravage is down, but they're still forcing this tier 2 tower push. Neptune Gaming, they're insistent. We will get some real estate, whether y'all like it or not, whether we like it or not. But they might lose Unknown at the same time. Pushed back by the power cogs. He's going to try and spin the safety, but there's no way out. The duel comes from Xiaofu. Dead, but this time with buyback. So there is still something going, but I feel like this game would be so different if Neptune Gaming were just not so insistent on never being together. You know, if they played with 5, they'd be fine, but they just don't want to hear drag and drop. I don't know, maybe they're arguing in the server, like, fine, we'll never be on the same side of the map as you, never.
Well, Juggernaut didn't get the memo for that. This is quite something. I mean, buyback situation now looking not too bad. I mean, apart from Queen of Pain and White Chan is actually missing the money right now. The rest of them have it available on the Dire side, and they might yet be forced to use it. But before that, I can look at Roshan, Aegis, Cheese, and an Aghanim's Blessing are ready to go.
Razor would love a piece of that. Aghanims already has Refresher active. We already have BKB and AC. If you got the Aghanims on top of that, you are in a very good place. And it looks like they are going to get it because Neptune Gaming not in any kind of position right now to come and contest this. Still having Unknown in the grave. And there we go.
Yeah, he's got it.
Ags on Razor. So now they have... Before this, they were kind of struggling with the siege unless they got kills onto all these heroes. Now Razor can just pop himself onto the high ground. He's building the Satanic... Or is it Satanic or Heart that he's building with this Reaver? I'm hoping it's a Heart, but either way, he's tanking up to make sure that he can stand his ground. Already has the armor item, already has the BKB, so all the protection this hero could need is available. Buyback is off cooldown, just needs the gold to be able to afford it. And now is when the game starts to get really, really difficult for Neptune. They did a good job holding up until this point, but can they hold now even? And they're gonna try. Big Ravage, but Cataclysm will not connect onto Lina. They get the duel out onto this Juggernaut as well. Static Storm is down too. Jug is gone. Beautiful power cogs after the hook from the Clockwork. Catches 3 heroes. 2 of them have already been dropped. They're chasing for a third now. Yshere loses his life towards the MKS double storm. Buyback came in from Gogo, but soon will be a dieback. And I think that's it, Drag and Drop. They tried their best. They did what they could, but at the end of the day, CDEC just a little bit too strong. The offlane Quap doesn't work out. Is the last one to die as the game will end.
Yeah.
And that's GG. CDEC take game 1.
Safety of the Aegis not even required there is oof. Yeah, that doubles the double ultimate from the Razor is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The moment you get that with the Aghanim Scepter as well. There was so much lightning bouncing around, just burning through them so freaking fast. There's just no countering that at that point. And
yeah.
damn, look at Echo, 16-1 and 8 after all of that, by the way.
Echo,
what a game.
Echo had like one of the freest games ever, honestly, on this Lina. Was allowed to do practically whatever the hell he wanted. I mean, MKS did him a favor of soaking up a lot of the attention in these fights, you know. And also Xiaofu. Xiaofu, let's not forget how amazing a start this Legion Commander had. This game doesn't work out as well as this if you don't have this uber-threatening LC that's always running forward, where everybody on Neptune Gaming knows that if she presses R on you, you're going to die. It's a guarantee, no matter what. And Echo can just sit back behind that, throwing in LSAs, throwing in Lagunas freely throughout the game. Just felt a bit too easy for Echo, but to be fair, CDEC didn't make it easy for themselves overall, and some of the team coordination, or rather the places they'd go to fights, would be peculiar. You know, they'd be feeling themselves a little bit too much, and it opened up some space for Neptune Gaming to sort of almost claw themselves back into this one, if not for they themselves also getting a bit too over-aggressive in the fights.
This was, they've got some really good ones of those, like the early duels, the early clockwork, hook shots, like they got a lot of value out of that. Sometimes they went a bit too far, like in that fight, and then this one was also a bit weird, where a bunch of them end up. Yeah, I mean Gorgo dies, but then Hui walks away with a couple of health points, and so does Aya. Despite the glimpse.
Off-lane co-op. We need to see it every game. Off-lane co-op, man.
But yeah, these kind of plays were just too many of those.
Yeah, just way too many. Like,
Yeah.
this
Oh, yeah,
duel
is
was
the one
just
we missed.
so strong. No, this was the one chaotic fight that started. I think something was they were killing Waishen down bottom as that happened. But here's where this fight really could have turned everything around. Had Waishen gotten off the Cataclysm at that point in time, Shafu's definitely dead, Razor's dead. Then they're taking that fight with all these heroes intact. They don't have to lose AE there. This would have really changed the game then and there, but only came a little bit later that Waishen's potential started to really be unleashed. And it was this fight right here. Echo sort of baits the team into a bad position. BKB, double damage. You feel so strong, but the rest of your team isn't in the same position. And you wasted a lot of the time of this BKB, but look at MKS. Going into the fight, only now realizing that, wait, there's actually no other core heroes around me. I'm the solitary target for this Juggernaut ultimate. Shafu comes to save you, but Shafu just ends up being grabbed as well. And whenever we saw this land dragon drop, it looked so good. Felt like Neptune Gaming really had hope. This combo could bring them back into the game, but they didn't always play around it. Sometimes when you have a crazy strong combo in the game, you still have to play specifically around these spells. And some part of me really wishes they won, so I could see more people picking this Queen of Pain for the off lane.
This one, this is like, what? Just blinks away, limps back, sure, but then Echo. That was his only death, I believe, as well. No, wait, that was just the Aegis, and then he walks away.
Oh, just the Aegis, yeah. He died. I think it was a fight middle or something. No, I think they were pushing top. It was that fight where they were pushing top, and he died just at the end of the game when he got off Satanic for like one hit.
All right.
But
Right. You're right.
besides that, he just had a perfectly free game. Look at how much damage he does with these right clicks. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is obscene.
Queen of Pain blinking is like, haha, I got the kill, and oh shit. Whoops, and then he bounced back on the slash. It always looks so funny when there's no other targets that can bounce to, and they're just shifting around each other, you know?
Yeah.
Not doing any damage. That was a bit awkward, and yeah, that's the very last fight. Another great hook shot, of course, with the double cogs. A lot of damage being done in turn, but ultimately not enough. And Lucas Razor just cleaning through them. There's no way to play against that at that point. So MVP Zhao Fu, actually, yeah. I can agree with that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them would have deserved it, honestly. Echo, of course, being big damage dealer, Zhao Fu setting up, but also Omoxiloi, if I'm completely butchering that name, but the Clockwork player, also doing a really good job there.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say shout out to the Clockwork in that as much as the LC did do, and she did do a lot, right, especially from the laning phase itself, but the Clockwork, so many situations where CDEC were either on the back foot or were going to be unable to catch a target. Clockwork makes it possible. We think of the split push opportunities from Waishen that got stopped by the Clockwork at least once, but it puts a threat into you, right? You can't like just show in the lane anymore. You have to play a lot more carefully. That slows down the game. Every time before they had the Blink Dagger available from Shafu, how are they getting forward? It's the Clockwork. And any given time that you want to jump onto Echo, what's the easiest way for Echo to get bailed out of trouble? Clockwork showing up, and he did it so many times. So I would have said the Clockwork more so than Echo or Xiaofu in this situation. But we know how it is. Supports always get overlooked in these kind of MVP votes. It just is what it is. But still, a great performance, I think, from CDEC to bring it back home at the end.
Yep. We're going to take a short break, but then we'll be back with game number 2 already here between CDEC and Neptune Gaming. So stay tuned.
请夜眼方禁用英雄。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're here with game number 2 between CDEC and Neptune Gaming, who have still yet to win a game. They got so close in that last one.
Yep. Closer than they've come the entire lower division of the DPC up until this point, and unfortunately they fell short just at the last moment. And ironically, they started to fall short when they were winning, when the tide had turned, when things were going in their direction. But unfortunately, we've seen that happen all too many times, where the losing team, the team that's like on the out, on the fritz, only finds their momentum and starts losing just as they find a groove, because they don't know how to handle being in a positive situation anymore. So let's hope it was enough, Drag and Drop, that they finally get back into something resembling good form.
Yeah, that's all we can really hope for. You're absolutely right. Again, this is the last chance right now. This is the very last series, the very last game, potentially. To really show what they can do and get a point on the board, even if it's just a map. So that it has to start here, it has to start now. So they ban out the Razor, IO picked up immediately by a CDEC, so that's already kind of setting the stage a little bit for any game where you pick up an IO, you know? It just opens up the carry pool quite a bit. You can do a whole lot of other things with it, you know, link up with some other heroes as well, which is what I favor, you know, if you also get